MMA is one of the most unforgiving sports on the planet. It rewards courage, toughness, and persistence, but it taxes the brain in ways we still don't fully understand. Every punch absorbed, every kick blocked with the head, every hard sparring session adds up. Sometimes the damage shows immediately. Sometimes it hides for years, quietly waiting. Chronic traumatic encephalopathy isn't a switch that flips overnight. It's a spectrum. And across that spectrum, fighters land at very different places. Today, we're breaking down 5 levels of CTE in MMA, not as diagnoses, but as observable patterns, warning signs, and realities that the sport cannot ignore. At level 1, you find the anomaly, the fighter who went to war for years, faced elite competition, and somehow emerged with their mind still sharp. This is where Khabib Nurmagomedov sits. Despite a career built on relentless pressure, brutal ground control, and unforgiving training, Khabib shows no visible cognitive decline. His speech is clear, his memory intact, his decision-making sharp. Outside the cage, he is calm, composed, and deliberate. Part of this may be genetics. Part of it may be his style, which prioritized control over damage absorbed. He didn't trade recklessly. He dominated positions. He ended fights early. Level 1 fighters aren't invincible to future issues, but at present, they show minimal outward signs. That's what makes them rare, and that's what makes them dangerous examples, because they can create the illusion that everyone will be fine. Level 2 is more complicated. This is where Michael Bisping now belongs. Bisping endured one of the longest, toughest careers in modern MMA. He fought elite strikers, champions, and contenders for over a decade. He absorbed punishment. He fought through injuries that would have ended other careers. Physically, the cost is obvious. Losing vision in one eye is not subtle. But mentally, Bisping remains remarkably intact. His commentary is coherent. His humor is quick. His memory functional. At the same time, this level comes with an asterisk. The brain is unpredictable. Damage doesn't always announce itself early. Level 2 fighters appear mostly themselves, but time is the variable no one can control. The absence of symptoms today does not guarantee safety tomorrow. If you made it this far, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tell me your thoughts in the comments below. And the like goal for this video is 100 likes. Now, let's continue with the video. Level 4 is where concern turns into alarm. This is where Georges St. Pierre sits. GSP competed at the highest level for years, facing devastating punchers, absorbing repeated concussive blows, and training in an era where hard sparring was the norm. This isn't about knockouts, it's about accumulation. Repeated head trauma compounds quietly. Over time, signs begin to surface: memory lapses, confusion, stories that don't quite connect. Even GSP himself has openly spoken about memory issues. When elite athletes known for discipline and intelligence start losing time in their own lives, it raises serious questions. At this level, ignoring the issue is no longer an option. Medical evaluation becomes essential. The danger is no longer hypothetical, it's present. Level 4 is where deterioration becomes obvious to everyone watching. This is where Dan Hooker fits. Hooker has been involved in some of the most violent striking wars in recent MMA history. His toughness is undeniable, but toughness comes at a cost. In interviews, his speech often sounds slurred. His thoughts sometimes feel disorganized. When he talks, it can feel like the damage is spilling out in real time. This doesn't mean he isn't intelligent. It means the brain has taken too many hits. Level 4 fighters struggle with communication, impulse control, and consistency. The decline isn't hidden anymore, it's visible. And it's uncomfortable to watch because it forces fans to confront the price of entertainment. And this brings us to the edge, the point where the sport's brutality collides with tragedy. Level 5, the point of no return. That's where BJ Penn's story begins to dominate the conversation. BJ Penn is one of the most naturally gifted fighters MMA has ever seen. No exaggeration. The guy walked into the UFC with almost no formal training compared to others, and still defeated elite black belts. He wasn't just good, he was different. Fast, flexible, fearless. When BJ was motivated, he looked untouchable. Lightweight champion, welterweight champion, a true prodigy. But that word, motivated, is where the story turns. BJ fought when he felt like it, trained when he wanted to, took long breaks, came back out of shape, relied on talent instead of discipline. Early on, it worked. Later, it didn't. As the sport evolved, BJ didn't evolve with it. Younger fighters were faster, stronger, more professional. BJ kept showing up because he loved to fight, but the game had already moved past him. Then came the hardest part to watch. Loss after loss, brutal knockouts, a legend slowly fading in real time. Outside the cage, things didn't get easier either. Legal troubles, public incidents. The same man who once symbolized raw MMA brilliance started becoming a cautionary tale. BJ Penn's decline hurts because of what he could have been if discipline had matched talent. He didn't just lose fights, he lost the version of himself fans wanted to remember. And then we arrive at number 6, Tito Ortiz. Tito Ortiz is a complicated one. In his prime, Tito was a monster, a dominant light heavyweight champion, relentless ground and pound, insane cardio for his era. He wasn't flashy, but he broke people. Tito helped build the UFC when it wasn't cool, when the money was low and the risk was high. He was one of the first real mainstream stars of MMA. But Tito never really learned how to leave the fight game. He retired, came back, retired again, came back again. Each return looked worse than the last. The speed wasn't there, the chin wasn't there, the hunger wasn't there. Wins came against very specific opponents, while losses were ugly and unforgiving. Instead of stepping away with dignity, Tito kept chasing moments that belonged to the past. After retirement, things got even stranger. Tito moved into politics, which alone isn't a problem, but his public appearances became chaotic. Rambling speeches, confusing statements, viral clips for all the wrong reasons, interviews that felt uncomfortable to watch. The same man who once confidently ruled the octagon now seemed lost without it. His identity was so tied to fighting that when it ended, he didn't know who Tito Ortiz was anymore. That's what makes his story sad. Not because he failed, but because he couldn't let go. Tito Ortiz didn't fall off overnight. He slowly drifted away from relevance while still standing in the spotlight. And in combat sports, that's the most dangerous place to be. The crowd remembers the last image more than the legacy. And for Tito, those last images didn't match the warrior he once was. When you look at all 6 names on this list, a pattern starts to show. MMA doesn't just punish the body, it punishes the ego, it punishes hesitation, it punishes staying too long. Fighters who can't accept time eventually get introduced to it the hard way. Some lose because their skills fade. Others lose because their identity collapses once the fighting stops. This isn't about disrespect. These men are legends, they changed the sport, they inspired millions. But their stories are reminders that greatness in MMA isn't just about how high you climb, it's about knowing when to step away before the fall defines you. Because in fighting, the hardest opponent is never the man across the cage, it's time.
If you made it this far, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more MMA videos and documentaries, and tell me your thoughts in the comments below.